One core piece of the crypto space that I have been really putting a spotlight on is stablecoins. Stablecoins have become a huge piece of not just crypto at this point, but also even traditional finance. And it's been a piece of crypto that's been spotlighted by some of the biggest names in the world. We're talking about institutional players, government officials. I mean, at this stage of, crypto and stablecoin adoption, I really do think that we are at the point where crypto is maturing in a big way. We have here from A16Z Crypto, our latest state of crypto report is here. The main theme for the year is the maturation of the crypto industry. Traditional financial institutions and fintechs launched crypto products. DeFi and stablecoins went mainstream. Blockchains get faster and cheaper. The regulatory shift in the US revived builder confidence. These are just a few of the highlights, okay? And we do have a few other things down here, like for example, the crypto industry is growing. We estimate that the number of monthly active crypto users has grown to 40 to 70 million, up 10 million from just last year. We also have down here that the total crypto market passed $4 trillion in market cap. The number of crypto mobile wallets users also reached all-time highs, up 20% from the last year. Everybody is talking about stablecoins, and this is the big one, right? They have done 46 trillion in annual transactions. That's 20 times the annual transactions of PayPal, 3 times the annual transactions of Visa. They also are one of the best ways to send a dollar, fast, cheap, and global. Stablecoins aren't just a crypto story, they are a macroeconomic one. More than 1% of all US dollars now exist as stablecoins on public blockchains. Altogether, stablecoins hold over $150 billion in US treasuries, more than many sovereign nations. And again, institutional players are here. They are embracing crypto. We can see all of the big players here, from Robinhood to BlackRock to Fidelity to MasterCard to Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, PayPal, you name it. We are witnessing the big evolution around crypto. And I'm very excited about this. Listen, I'm very excited about this because we are now watching as the new financial system essentially is being created. Because again, I've talked about this for years at this point. We are watching as the new rails of, finance become a reality. I mean, we are watching this in real time. And that's why when we think about stablecoins, right, we look at this image here, and it's just crazy to really see this and put it into perspective when we compare it back to, Visa and PayPal, but compare it to even ACH. We're about like $40 trillion away from rallying against ACH's yearly transactions, and we will most likely get there. Stablecoins are not slowing down. In fact, they are accelerating. And on top of that, we're starting to see more and more collaboration from the big TradFi side, like Citi. Citi's collaborating with Coinbase to build the future of payments, exploring making it easier for Citi clients to use digital assets, unlocking the power of stablecoins for payments, and improving on and off ramps. This is, again, we're watching some of the biggest names in traditional finance shift to on-chain. They want to embrace the tech to get them on-chain. This is, again, more confirmation that crypto's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And also Visa. Visa is enabling payments in 4 stablecoins across 4 blockchains with fiat conversion support. This is, again, another clear confirmation that the big players need to start taking this serious, because Visa, Citi, almost all of the institutional players that are now tapping into crypto, they have realized it's make it or break it. We need to tap in or else we will fall behind. And that's also why we are witnessing stablecoins grow the way that they have been. I mean, we recently just surpassed over 200 million holders of stablecoins. We also are seeing the monthly active addresses up 20, almost 4%, almost at 35 million. Monthly transfer volume up almost 47% exact, 4.85 trillion. And the market cap is at 295 billion. It's crazy to see this. But again, this is to be expected. Listen, we go back just a couple years ago, and we knew stablecoins were going to be a big deal. I mean, it's exactly why when we go back to what Ripple told us, right? Ripple told us back in November of 2022, hey, the stablecoin race it's on. Now, we didn't really take it serious back then, but you can see exactly why they mentioned that. Because again, if we go back to November of 2022, there was over 140 plus $billion tied back to stablecoins. Yeah, we saw this dip significantly into like the end of 2023, but after 2023, we just witnessed this thing go crazy to the upside. And again, transfer volume, I mean, this is crazy to see. I've talked about this as well here and there. If we're looking at monthly transfer volume, we just recorded one of the largest months for transfer volume, over $4.7 trillion. Just to put that into perspective, that's larger than the value transacted back in December of 2024. Stablecoins are not slowing down, like I said. Now, when we think about this, we obviously have to mention Ripple and RLUSD. We know that there's going to be a lot of great discussions at Ripple Swell. We also know that Securitize is going to be at Ripple Swell, addressing, global growth and trust with RLUSD. Listen, at this point, stablecoins are, being talked about almost at every single major event. It makes sense to have RLUSD spotlighted at Ripple Swell. But it's not just that. It's the fact that this is coming from Securitize. Why is that important to know? Well, it's because if we go back to just tokenization itself, let's go to the market overview, right? Securitize, in terms of the platforms here, is the third largest player by value. $4.5 billion is tied back to Securitize. Securitize is a giant in this space, and they recently partnered up with Ripple, and now we're going to see RLUSD fully focused on here. But I bring RLUSD up not because, this is an XRP based video, but it's because we are watching as RLUSD grows significantly. I have this open here. We're going to come back to this in a second. I want to go over here to this announcement. RLUSD, 1 year, 1 billion. 1 billion plus in terms of market cap, 1-to-1 USD backed, the number one trusted and transparent stablecoin for institutions. With Ripple Prime, G Treasury, and Rail now joining the effort, RLUSD and XRP will drive faster, efficient, and compliant settlement worldwide. This is how we advance the future of finance. One of the biggest arguments from a lot of people that watch the channel is that RLUSD was mainly issued out on Ethereum. We just hit 1 billion. This is what RLUSD looks like right now. 1.02 billion, up almost 30% in the last 30 days. Monthly transfer volume, it's down about 2.3%, $5 billion. Monthly active addresses and holders are up about like 3 to almost like 4%. But look at the growth here on the XRP ledger. In the last 30 days, the amount of RLUSD on the XRP ledger is up 122 plus %. This is telling us that they are starting to issue a ton of RLUSD now on the XRP ledger. Why is that? Well, it's because a lot of the recent moves that involve RLUSD is all centered around the XRP ledger and XRP. Now, on top of this, we also have this image of the XRP ledger from rwa.xyz. Look at the stablecoin market cap, up almost 50% in the last 30 days, $400 plus million. The stablecoin 30-day transfer volume is something that I have been fully focused on. This is almost $550 million. This is up 100 and almost 20% in the last 30 days. So if we're thinking about the adoption around the XRP ledger when it comes back to stablecoins, this is picking up in a big way. I'm very excited about this. We've also been witnessing more stablecoins launching on the XRP ledger. We mentioned this in the past as well. We will most likely see a lot more stablecoins launched on the XRP ledger over time, but we are starting to see USDB grow BBRL is here, RLUSD, EURP, AUDD, USDC as well. There's a few other ones that we have yet to see, like USV, but we are watching as the stablecoin, market really wakes up on some of these great networks. And we're only starting to see more and more, moves being made to grow the stablecoin side of the market, but also the underlying infrastructure that these stablecoins are issued out on, like for an example, the XRP ledger. These networks are the main focus, because if we are thinking about it logically, the more and more adoption around these stablecoins, the more value that's moved through these stablecoins, it affects the network in a positive way through network effects. But also, if we're thinking about why RLUSD has been growing so significantly lately, it's because of all of the acquisitions. That's definitely a big one. And it's also because of the market expansion, right? Bitpanda recently announced that RLUSD is now on their platform. Bitpanda is a pretty large exchange, 103,000 plus followers. RLUSD support on all of these major exchanges allows RLUSD access and exposure to more users to buy, hold it, and then also, utilize it for trades. So this is definitely a big one. And then also Bitrue also announced support of RLUSD. Bitrue is a little bit of a, larger exchange than Bitpanda, over 430,000 followers. Again, just more market exposure to RLUSD. And then also, like I said, with all of the acquisitions, Ripple Prime, we also have the expansion in Africa as well. This was another big one, how they were expanding RLUSD access in Africa. Also, to build on top of that, DBS, Franklin Templeton, and Ripple partnered up to launch trading and lending solutions powered by tokenized money market funds. This is with, of course, RLUSD, and it is on the XRP ledger. This is definitely a big one. And then also beyond that, we know ahead of Ripple Swell, that Ripple is showcasing how blockchain payments drive real-world impact with all of these great humanitarian aid companies. Together, we can slash settlement times from days to seconds, ensuring faster aid and greater impact where it's needed most. Now, we don't have a full-on number to go off of here on what type of impact this will have. But one thing that is very certain here is we are starting to see more and more expansions happening around RLUSD as a stablecoin. We know Ripple wants RLUSD to be a top 5 stablecoin, but the best part about this is we are starting to see major adoption of the XRP ledger through this, because again, we're now starting to see the XRP ledger become the main network that RLUSD is issued out on. We still have a lot of catching up to do to Ethereum, but $200 million being issued on the XRP ledger through RLUSD is a very good start. And of course, yes, the stablecoin market on the XRP ledger is starting to pick up in a big way as well. So I'm very excited about this. I definitely do think, and by the time that this video does go live, we probably will hear a few things behind RLUSD from Ripple Swell. I really do think that Ripple Swell is going to be a pretty large event to really kind of tap in and listen to what's being done to really support RLUSD, but also stablecoins in general. Securitize obviously being one of the biggest tokenization platforms out there. It definitely is a focus of theirs to support stablecoins and extremely sought after stablecoins that are fully trustworthy, transparent, and things like that. So that's definitely good for RLUSD. But overall, main thing that I'm looking at here is stablecoins are only going to continue to grow more and more, and the thirst for extremely liquid, very transparent, and compliant stablecoins, that thirst is only going to get stronger and stronger. So RLUSD, it's at a perfect point at this point in this market, and Ripple really did launch this at a perfect time, and we could obviously see that in terms of the growth. All of the moves that Ripple has been making recently as well definitely highlights the impact that RLUSD will have on their future business moves as well, because again, RLUSD is almost a part of every single one of those acquisitions, and same with even with XRP. So I'm very excited about the future for RLUSD, for XRP, and also for Ripple. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.